Jen Lakin. I just turned 40 earlier this year. I live in Ellicott City with my husband Owen and my daughter Ella, who is 8, and Ethan is 6. And I work in finance. And yeah, so I've been part of this amazing program for almost 10 months now.
Okay, let's start with where you were in your health before you started the program, and then I'm going to jump onto your 40th birthday. So let's start with all of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, in general, I was generally healthy, right? I didn't have any major health issues. But that said, there'd been a lot going on with my body. So I have the BRCA gene mutation. So I'd had a couple of prophylactic surgeries over the last few years. And then, I also had my 2 babies. So in, a span of whatever that was, 6+ years, there was just a lot going on with my body. I wasn't prioritizing good nutrition. I wasn't prioritizing exercise. And I just put on a decent amount of weight from all of those things that I mentioned. And was just feeling tired and really just wanted to change something. So, I tried to lose weight before, and I had, there've been periods in my life, back in, I'm coming up on my 10-year wedding anniversary with my husband 10 years ago, right before my wedding, hardly eating anything to get down to as small as possible a size, as many of us did. And then even like during COVID, the very beginning of COVID, I put on a lot of weight. So then a few months into it, I was like, okay, I got to do something. And I did lose a decent amount of weight, but clearly I didn't sustain that.
You've been in the program for quite a while now. Let's start like your biggest wins since you started the program. I know there was like an initial win and now further win. So let's talk through both of those times.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't even remember what my original weight loss goal is, but I do remember in our
I have
like
it.
consultation call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was probably, I don't know, it was like a total of maybe like 15 or 18 pound loss, something like that. And I remember you being like, okay, sure. And then down the road, you were like, yeah, I knew you were going to want to go beyond that. We're capable of going beyond that, and which I have. So I think my biggest win is I'm down about 32 pounds, which is a lot more again than I expected to, which is exciting. About 3 clothing sizes, depending on the brand and whatnot. So that's a huge win. But then beyond that, just like I eat 3 servings of veggies a day, and that's like normal. And I don't even have to think about it that much. Like, quite honestly, embarrassing, but probably hardly had like 1 serving of veggies before this. So that's good. So much more protein, right? Again, like I didn't track any of my things before, but there were some days where I probably had next to no protein. So just those kind of healthy nutrition habits. Then on the workout side, so I do 3 strength workouts and 2 ab workouts a week. Obviously, I'm not perfect. There's times when I don't want to do them like everybody, but for the most part, I don't hate them. And that is a huge win. And even when I'm tired or having a rough day and don't want to, I still do it. So that's a huge win. I just hit my 200 workouts milestone just a couple days ago, which is crazy to me as well. 10 months in. So yeah, those were a bunch of wins, but there's been a lot.
In the beginning, you had said I used to feel like a hypocrite with my kids because, trying to get them to change these habits. I want you to talk a little bit about like how are you, what impact has this had on your family, your kids, your husband, even your job?
Yeah, so I always made sure my kids ate healthy and organic and proteins and veggies, but I kind of was like, oh, at this point, I'm kind of a lost cause, whatever. So just really focus it with them. But now, like, we are eating the same things and I'm modeling those behaviors. And it's funny, like, obviously, I did not plant this question, but you couldn't have asked that at a more perfect time. Last week, Ella brought home a paper with all sorts of, questions. And one thing was like, who's your role model? And she said me, which, she's done that before, but she had to write why I'm her role model. And she wrote or like behaviors that I do that she could copy. And it was like, my mom exercises and she eats healthy. And like a year ago, those never would have been things that she'd say, right? She said all the other, she's kind, she helps me, but I was like blown away that like she's healthy, she exercises, she eats healthy foods was on there. So I mean, that is huge. And I was also thinking about this the other day, like they don't fight me on vegetables that much anymore. And that's because I'm sitting there eating them with them. Right? My kids like to join in my workouts. They were just, the other day, Ella was doing my ab workout with me. They asked, oh, mommy, are you doing strength or ab tonight? So like they are just so ingrained in it now. My husband's been super supportive from day one. I kind of motivated him as well. He joined CrossFit a while ago, and we've got all this new gym equipment in our basement that he keeps adding to. So it's really become like contagious and just part of our family and what we do. So it's huge.
I want you to think about the beginning of your journey and what were you kind of what were you kind of concerned with, or what were some fears that you had?
The biggest thing was probably that it wouldn't feel like manageable or sustainable. Like I'd burn out from it quickly. I'd get sick of the workouts, I'd get sick of the tracking. So that was definitely a fear that I wouldn't be able to fit it into my schedule. I work full time, I've got the kids, just that it wasn't going to fit with my schedule and that it also wouldn't be something I could maintain. But looking back, like I just don't have those fears anymore, right? But those were definitely things I worried about initially.
What about the experience helped you overcome those original fears or uncertainties, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the time commitment, like it's I can't make excuses, right? The workouts are 30 minutes. I can do those after my kids go to bed. I can do them on the weekends with them. Like we can all make 30 minutes. And if we can't, it's because we're just not prioritizing, right? So it was a completely reasonable amount of time to be able to fit in. I really like the app and tracking. Like I'm a numbers person. I actually really like tracking the food and seeing that data. So I find that really helpful. And that personally like motivates me as well, so it makes it feel more sustainable and manageable. And then just the fact that like the results speak for themselves, right? Like it is worth it. Like you guys tell me what to do, you set my workouts, you set my macros and my calories, and if I just follow that, it works, right? So that's obviously incredibly motivating, knowing if I just do what you're telling me, I'm going to see the results. So that made me feel like, okay, this is really worth it. I don't need to be skeptical of anything. It is legit. And yeah, I've just really been able to fit it in.
But what makes this program different and unique?
Yeah, I mean, the support from you and Sarah, right? Like that accountability, the check-ins, right? We do the weekly accountability forms, and you guys get back with really helpful feedback and support and comments. When we have something big coming up or something we're worried about, you check in with us, right? It's so personalized. And we can set up calls with you anytime. Like before I went on the 2 week vacation this summer, I just wanted to feel like prepared, and you walked me through like a really good game plan, and I felt really good going into it. So really, just I think you guys make it incredibly personalized and really hold us accountable. And for me, it's the accountability thing that I haven't like. I need that to succeed. Like I don't, knowing you guys are checking the app and checking in with us, like I don't want to have to put like, oh, I went over 1,000 calories because I ate like 2 pieces of chocolate cake. Like I want to feel good about what I'm doing, and knowing that you guys are there supporting is that extra bit of encouragement I need. And then the group of women, right? Like it's such an incredibly supportive group. I love the Facebook page. People sharing their successes, people sharing their failures, so that people can learn and grow from that too. Sharing recipes and just funny little memes and tips and everything. It's a great Facebook group. It's a great group of women. It was really nice to meet a lot of people in person at one of your client events recently. So yeah, so I think it's the people, including obviously you and Sarah, that really make it different.
What changed from a mindset perspective? Because you've been doing this for a really long time through holidays, right? You joined
Mhm.
in early December, right? Through vacation. So tell us what shifts, like why does this work different than all the other things that worked before, which you've lost weight, right? But didn't keep it off. So how is this different?
Yeah, I think like obviously you guys say it all the time, right? But you can have anything, just not everything. And I think that's really been huge for me, because if I'm told I can't have wine or I can't have dessert or never eat pizza or never eat carbs, like that's just not like sustainable for life, right? Whenever I stop that, I'm just going to eat all the pizza and eat all the cake, and it's not going to work out. So the fact that like we can have anything we want, we just need to plan for that and see how that fits in with our day or our week. Like that mindset change is massive, right? Like I don't worry about, oh, I have dinner with friends coming up or I'm going out with my husband. Like I will have fun and not stress about what I'm eating. I'll just come up with a plan for that day. So I think that mentality is really big. And then also knowing, I think it was a game changer for me when I had the 2 week vacation in August, right? Like we planned for it. I knew things I was going to keep up with. I knew things that I was going to say, hey, it's vacation. I'm probably not going to get every workout in. I am going to go over calories certain days. And I did my 2 week vacation. I gained 4 pounds, but I didn't stress about it. And as soon as I got back, I got right back on track with my workouts and nutrition and lost that weight pretty quickly. And I think that was a massive game changer for me, to know that like there's going to be these vacations all the time. There's going to be these things that come up, and I can bounce back from it quickly. Whereas in the past, like that probably would have derailed me. I would have been like, okay, gain the 4 pounds, like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to jump back into my routines.
Yeah, I think that's a huge piece of that, right? And understanding, you've lost over 30 pounds, right? It was really, I mean, it's like a lot for someone who's not that big. So,
Mhm.
but what is your favorite part of the program?
Um, I mean, there's so many, but really, I really think like the support from you and Sarah, to be honest. Like, I love the check-ins. I love the feedback about my plans. I love being able to talk about, the workouts and my, nutrition goals and what comes next. Like, I recently had a call with Sarah about like, hey, like, I'm not sure anymore, like what my end goal is. And I just want to understand like what comes next. What are the next phases after my end goal, to help me make that decision about what that final number is going to be. Right. So just like having people to really talk through that with, and just getting all that knowledge, right? Like the bi-monthly client meetings that you guys have are on really interesting topics, right? Like when we talked about kind of like hormones and obviously like the menopause aspect of things and just how our bodies are, like the science behind it. Like I really enjoy the information that you guys share with us, and it just helps put things into perspective and understand that like this is an investment in us so that we can have like long healthy lives, right? Like I see, you know certain family members or other people that maybe haven't like aged how I want to age, and it's like, okay, either put in that time now, or you may not get that quality of life that you want down the road.
So speaking of that, what would you say to someone who, they're either a new follower, or they've been following us for a long time, they're thinking about doing the program, but they just haven't like decided yet, they haven't booked a call yet, and they're just, they're considering it, but they're not sure because there's so many other things there are, right? There's so many other things out there. What would you say to someone like that?
Yeah, I would just say, I think I said this before too, right? But if you could have done it on your own, like you would have done that by now, right? So clearly you can't, clearly I couldn't. So I think just, give it a shot. Like all of us, like we're real women, right? Like all the interviews that you do and people that are sharing, their feedback on the program, like we're just normal people that are just following the program, right? There's no secret, there's no pill, there's no shake. Like I didn't want to do anything that, was taking any sort of other medication. I've got enough going on with all my the surgeries and being put into like medical menopause and stuff. Like I didn't want to have to deal with anything like that. I wanted to do it the right way and the sustainable way. So like all of us are doing it that way. All the women that you see like in interviews like this. So, really just give it a shot. There's nothing to lose. Yes, it's an investment, but it's an investment in yourself and your future. And you literally have nothing without your health, right? It's just a fact. So yeah, just give it a shot. I think I haven't heard anybody that joined that, regretted it and didn't do well. So it's worth it.
I want to ask you one more question. Do you like give up on Christmas foods or whatever holiday you celebrate? Like, do we tell you not to eat your favorite foods or anything like that?
No, definitely. There's never been anything you've told me not to have. In fact, you've said, no, you should have this. Like, no, this is your birthday. You should definitely have cake. It's your kid's birthday. You should have cake. Yeah, no, you've never told us not to have anything.
Yeah, because that wouldn't work long term. Jen, thank you so much for taking the time today. You're amazing. I just, you're so inspirational to so many people, family members, friends, our community, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Narita. I really appreciate all the support.